Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. It's Tuesday night, and you know what that means. It's time for your WWE NXT Event Center report. And now here is the man to bring you that report, Mr. Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. 1697 is the episode number. And this is the final NXT event center from the USA Network. That's right, as NXT has a lot of great memories on the USA Network from the very beginning. After originated from the WE Network to the USA Network, now it's going to the CW Network. I have the CW Network, so I will be watching NXT next week. Not only that, I will be working on a brand new thumbnail for the NXT NXT Event Center. Considering that is moving to the CW, I'll be working on that this week as well. Got lots to work on, man. Let me tell you, it's going to be a lot of fun. Guarantee you that. I'm really excited about this, and it kicked off with the Women's North American title. Kaylani Jordan defending it against No Quarter Catch crew member Ren Sinclair, who was once a guest on the Rant and Rave podcast. I think we had a date a few years back for this one. And unfortunately, the interview did not go well. Let's just leave it at that. And I don't want to bring it up, but sorry, Brandon and Jordan. But, have to acknowledge it. Yes, she was a guest on the Rant and Rave podcast. That's probably the only interview that totally went wrong afterwards. But other than that, all the other interviews we did with wrestlers were pretty good. But so Ren Sinclair challenging Kaylani Jordan for the North American title after a slap across the face. The match was going pretty good until a miscalculation by Miss Sinclair as she meant to go do a splash dive off the top rope onto ringside where Kaylani Jordan was standing, but she moved out of the way, and Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights took that brunt of the splash from Sinclair as Charlie Dempsey's like, I ain't gonna bloody take charge of this. Anyways, it cost Ren Sinclair, that miscalculation cost Ren Sinclair in the end as Kaylani Jordan capitalized on it, did her split-legged moonsault, 1, 2, 3. Kaylani Jordan is still your NXT Women's North American Champion. Meanwhile, the press conference began with NXT Champion Ethan Page, and Ethan Page says he doesn't care about CM Punk. All he cares about is retaining his NXT Heavyweight title against Trick Williams. CM Punk was talking to Javon Evans in the locker room, and then Trick Williams interrupts. Both gentlemen says, I want to talk to Punk. Javon Evans says, no problem. I'm going to catch up with my partner anyways, which is Cedric Alexander. So he thanks CM Punk, showed him some love, and then CM Punk said, listen, I'm going to be impartial. I'm going to call it down the middle. And he gave Trick Williams some advice, though, and Trick Williams took to heart, showed a lot of respect for CM Punk for listening to him. That was really cool. I think every time a veteran would do that, I think most of the young NXT superstars could, just, stop, listen, hear what he has to say, and all that, or he or she. In this case, it's CM Punk. So he got that. He got the message, and Trick Williams, everything. Meanwhile, the Grayson Waller effect was a talk show. The guests were the NXT Tag Team Champions, Nathan Frazier and Axiom, sometimes called Fraxium, sometimes called by A-Town Down Under, especially Grayson Waller, Kurt Cobain, and the Power Ranger, but I call them the 90s connection. You think about this. It just gave me an idea. You think about this. Kurt Cobain and the Power Rangers were part of 90s pop culture. That's one, especially mid-90s with Kurt Cobain. Two, both men, Nathan Frazier and Axiom, were born in the 90s. So, hence the 90s connection. They're both European, too. So, The Euro 90s connection, maybe? Something interesting. Well, after the trash talk that both teams had against each other, Waller in Theory attacks Frazier and Axiom. As they Frazier and Axiom will defend those NXT tag titles against Waller in Theory, I believe, in St. Louis, I think. I think in St. Louis. Meanwhile, Metaphor were talking, and Lexis King interrupts them. Say, hey, they talk things out, and they say, hey, what our matchup? May the best man win. So both men, stood up and shake hands. Oro Mensah and Lexis King. Meanwhile, Hank Walker and Tank Ledger were addressing the Good Brothers as they get ready for their tag match against them. And in the women's locker room, Brindley Reese and Carmen Petrovich were warming up for their matchup against Wendy Chu and Rosemary until Ashante the Adonis interrupts them with a rose. Starts talking to both Brindley Reese. It looks like Carmen Petrovich seemed to have a thing for him or something like that. I don't know what's going on. But, however, Ashante the Adonis tries to flirt with Tina Paxley, and she knows my heart belongs to someone else. In real life, it does. Javier Bernal, I think he's been hurt too, I think. And he's probably trying to come back from injury. And she still has a thing for Larry Valkyria, believe it or not. Meanwhile, Hank Walker and Tank Ledger, Hank and Tank, went up against the Good Brothers, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Heck of a tag team matchup, but in the end, Hank and Tank pulled off another victory over the Good Brothers. It seems like Hank and Tank could be serious contenders for those tag team titles in NXT. Meanwhile, Javon Evans continues to talk to his partner, Cedric Alexander, who's taking him under his wing. And then he was really excited about meeting Randy Orton and facing him in St. Louis. And Cedric Alexander was got to get ready for that matchup. And then A-Town Down Under interrupts them and starts making fun of them. And then Javon Evans. The guy's hilarious. Gotta love him. Hey, Kevin Owens, what's up? The last time Kevin Owens confronted him, he punched both of them he punched both Waller and Theory in the face. It was great. And see Javon Evans do that, I was like, ha ha, he knows what's up. Javon Evans doing his homework. Gotta love that, right? Now I put the microphone near me. I don't have to keep anything on. Okay. Anyways, so Earl Mensah went one-on-one with Lexis King. Now, here's an interesting dynamic in the matchup. During the closing moments of the matchup, Lexis King wants to go pin him, but he put his foot on the ropes, but he puts it down and goes, I'm not going to do it. Earl Mensah decided to take advantage of the situation, pins him, and uses his feet on the bottom ropes. Now, here's my question. Has Earl Mensah seen through the games of Lexis King and decided to one-up him? Or is he, Lash Legend Jakara Jackson, going to turn heel once again for the return of Noam Dar? Is Lexis King going to be the popular babyface? I don't know. We'll find out as the weeks go on. A little interesting situation, to say the least. Meanwhile, the family decided to convince Tony D'Angelo to train for his match against Obafemi. They put him for the ringer, lifting weights, pushing the truck, and everything else in between. And they believe that he is ready to take on Obafemi in St. Louis for that North American title once again. Meanwhile, Riley Osborne, the last remaining uninjured member of Chase U, along with the lovely Thea Hale, who's starting to grow on me a little bit. I like Thea Hale. Took on the former Chase U ally in Ridge Holland. Holland did win the matchup, though, but both men decided to brawl after the match. Like Riley Osborne is not done with Ridge Holland. Meanwhile, The Miz got on X and said, hey, Obafemi, Tony D'Angelo, I'm inviting you two on Miz TV, and we'll get that contract signed. I was like, Miz TV, The Miz, being a smart man, knows who God believes in the two of them. So it'll be very interesting to hear what he had to say. Hear what both men had to say on The Miz TV. The press conference with the North American champion Obafemi. Obafemi still believes that Tony D'Angelo is broken, so he sees it in his eyes. Well, we'll find out for sure if that's the case. Meanwhile, a very controversial situation happened between former MSK partners Zachary Wentz and Wesley, former best friends. They started smack talking. A lot of swearing was going on. They said how they're going to beat the heck out of each other in that street fight next week. And he says, here's some more brotherly advice for you. Don't let Gigi watch. And we all know who the Gigi that Wesley's talking about. The Gigi is the fiance of Zachary Wentz, the lovely, the gorgeous, and capacious Miss Gigi Dolan. Yes, I'll still like Gigi Dolan even though she's engaged. I think Zachary Wentz hit the jackpot with her. And Wesley, can I give you a little bit of advice? Why don't you try to find Abby Lath, a.k.a. Kimberly, call her on the phone, and basically, in a sarcasm manner, saying, thank you for ruining our friendship. And then hang up on her. Leave a message saying, thank you for ruining me and Zach's friendship, and hang up. Because she's to blame for Zachary Wentz leaving the NXT. Because they fired him because of the stuff that Kimberly pulled off. Seriously. You should go call Kimberly or Abby Lath. Call up Zachary Wentz's ex-fiance and thank her for ruining your friendship. Because she is to blame for that. But I'm glad that Zachary Wentz has got a good woman in Gigi Dolan. Any guy would want to be with her. I would want to be with Gigi Dolan. But Zachary Wentz beat me to it. That's okay. Anyways, yeah, they were trash talking, and he brings up Gigi Dolan, and then Zachary Wentz got all ticked off, throwing out his microphone, and then Wesley realized that he isn't the PC. Throwing out his microphone, they confront each other. They started beating each other up and screaming and brawling until they were separated by security. Meanwhile, Ava was talking to Lola Vice and Jada Parker. Jada Parker and Lola Vice were arguing. So you two are going to work things out. You're teaming up against Fatal Influence. So they were not very happy about that. Meanwhile, speaking of women's tag team action, Carmen Petrovich and Brinley Reese, say that 5 times fast, against Wendy Chu and Rosemary, and Ashante the Adonis once again appears at ringside with a rose and with distracting Carmen Petrovic. And basically, I think he gave a rose to a member of the audience, and Carmen Petrovic was not very happy, was easily distracted. Wendy Chu and Rosemary did capitalize it on a distraction and picked up the victory over the two blonde bombshells. And believe me when I say this, and Ashante the Adonis was too busy laughing at the whole thing. What is Adonis doing? I think Adrian Adonis should be ashamed of having a guy whose last name like him. Anyways, God rest Adrian Adonis' soul. But Ashante the Adonis, dude, do better, huh? And Sol Ruka was talking to CM Punk, getting some advice, and then Paige interrupts them. And then CM Punk got honest with him because I appreciate your honesty. And CM Punk, it didn't bother him one bit. Anyways, he said, you better be the guy. Because if you are, I'll let you hand the victory, put the title around your waist. But if you're not the guy, I won't. And he walks away. Something for Ethan Page to think about. Meanwhile, Fatal Influence has got the press conference. They started saying, hey, the women's division is the best in the wrestling because we're going to take it over. And then Lola Vice and Jada Parker trying to bust in the press conference, and they're like, oh, hi, and all that good stuff. Yeah, whatever. And then Javon Evans and Cedric Alexander took on A-Town Down Under, and Nathan Frazier and Axiom tried to distract A-Town Down Under, but to no avail. And they made a couple of mistakes that cost the team of Evans and of Evans, and breathe, Eric. Okay. Nathan Frazier and Axiom made some mistakes that cost the team of Evans and Alexander their match against A-Town Down Under. That would help them in momentum going to St. Louis for the tag team titles. Meanwhile, the press conference, Trick Williams says he's going to have to be himself to do whatever it takes to become the champion. He has to be himself and keep his anger and his emotions in check. And if I don't, I'll lose out, but I need to get that title back. So, and then Sarah Sharp says in the last press conference, we'll move over to the arena ring for Julia and Roxanne Perez. So they have that press conference. They ask her all the questions. Julia spoke in Japanese a little bit. Funaki interpreted for her. Basically said that she's here to take the women's championship. But then Byron Saxon was about to ask another question, but he was interrupted. And then we're gonna wait your turn. And then they look on the Titantron. It was Stephanie Becker, and they said, "What are you two going to do? What are one of you two going to do when you see me on the other side of the women's title match?" Looks like whoever wins this matchup got next against Stephanie Becker got next. Well, like I said, it's the final NXT broadcast, USA Network broadcast on NXT. They provide a lot of great memories and say thank you and they thank the USA Network. Now the CW, whole new era, and that means it'll be a whole new thumbnail. I'll be working on that this weekend as well. There's lots of things I need to work on this weekend, so lots of things to talk about. Well, tomorrow we pull on the one-armed bandit to spin against the devil and the Joker's Wild. I'm going to beat him once again. I've been laying the smackdown on that devil, and it's about time the smackdown continues. So, thank you for tuning in. Also, AEW Dynamite Grand Slam 2024, Arthur Ashe Stadium, New York. Let's get it on. All right, then. I will see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful night, blessed night. Thank you very much. And, Mr. Announcer, I paid you for free for doing this. Take us home. Pay you for free. Like that makes sense, right? Whatever. Write that one down. See ya. Mr. Announcer, just take us home. That is all for today's episode. This is your announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E, do it for Bob Saget Productions, and in association with a Raven Beaufort Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching today's episode. Tune in next time for another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Goodbye for now.